Okay. That was a good run. Good first run of the day. Let's do another one. Can we get this number up to 20? This time around with Wyldenten. Let's jump in. Okay. Love this clan combination, by the way. Always a big fan of Awoken Umbra. Glimmer, Perils of Production, Edgebriar. That's interesting. I kinda wish we were running Sentient, but we are running Wyldenten instead, which is also quite interesting. Up against Daedalus, Arcus Seraph, Daedalus with Damage Shield, Arcus with Incant and Harvest, and Seraph with Spell Consumption. Okay. Shadowbox and Cursed Vines. Huh. When does Cursed Vines matter for us? Not really very often in this specific deck. Well, in this specific clan combo. But there's always just the simple benefit of sometimes moving these 0 attack tanks to the back. It can, however, sometimes cause problem if you don't have good AoE. But we will probably have access to pretty solid AoE in this run. We already have Glimmers. And there's Strangler Wyldenten. That could be a thing. Strangler Wyldenten is all about translating your defense into wave killing power. Because the enemies stay on your floor. So basically every combat turns into a relentless combat. Thornlord on the other hand, not a bad choice. With Edgebriar making our spells cheaper, Perils of Production being 0 cost, kinda. Whew. And I guess things are better with Cursed Vines, because you can more often shut down more often shut down the backline, which has become the front line. So that is certainly a possibility here. I was hoping for Predator, and then just go nuts with Ember Drain, but I guess we can do the same thing with Strangler. Let's go Strangler. Mark of Invasion. Well, shouldn't be a huge deal. We do have Strangler Wyldenten, so we do have good tools to kill those waves. And look at that, we have a Glimmer to start out with. Just top floor being capacity reduced is slightly annoying, but not a huge deal there. Nope, not gonna get that Collector. No matter what I do. How do we keep Wyldenten alive? I guess for now it's morsels. This definitely happens. And one more. Seraph shuts down Holdover Perils. Yes. This Seraph is one of the more annoying ones to play Ember Drain against. But there are ways to play around that. We need to keep Wyldenten alive. I guess that helps somewhat. But there could be something better. I'm gonna play these anyways. There is not... Definitely a Glimmer here. Maybe... Yeah, I should have played the Edge prior before the Glimmer. Just to get it out of the deck. Double Glimmer. I'm still looking for a lifesteal morsel, kinda. We can put morsels in front, otherwise these guys gain damage shield, which means they will stay around for longer, which would also be a problem. This kills the frontliner. That's good at least. Lifesteal. Question is... Well, we will have 18 HP, right? So we'll get 3 turns of combat. We can put an Edge Prior or a Morsel in front of Wyldenten. The Ember Drain is not worth it. It's just not worth it right now. We'll use that for extra damage on the bottom floor instead. Hi, Mists! Damage shield, that's actually really good. There we go. Boss down. It was close, but we managed. No damage taken. Sharpen, Glimmer, Restoration, Detonation. Currently I'm feeling Resto Dedo. We kinda need a burst healing spell right now. Or some other way of defense. Because other ways of defense are currently not available. We'll go with this. Prismal Dust, Mind Collapse, and Tambra Assault. What's our plan gonna be against bosses in the future? Probably not morsels. Although, who knows? Prismal Dust isn't terrible. Mind Collapse is also quite acceptable right now. And Tamra Assault is just generally more useful. We might involve some sort of Gorge strategy into this deck after all. There are quite a few spell upgrades I would like, but it's mostly small upgrades. We don't have a good double stack target, we don't have a great card to Permafrost or Consume Remove. Holdover, on the other hand, is pretty good. Could put that on a Perils for now. Awoken unit, I would love that. Would I? We already have our sweeper. I love Awoken units when I can make great use of sweepers. Which is probably not gonna be the case in this run. No, why not? Champion has sweep. Yep, it's the spell upgrades. I hate missing out on a double stack with Awoken. There are so many good targets for it in Awoken in general. But it's just not this time. I like the idea of an upgraded Glimmer. With Consume, some burst healing and AoE clear. Cost reducing, the Resto Dedo isn't bad. I'm gonna go with that for now. And then the other Glimmer first. Gonna cost reduce the Glimmer as well as upgrade its damage potential. So it stays relevant longer. I was planning to say something else, I guess. Aggressive Amulet. We now have a lot more healing. I feel confident we can do this. This time we actually have space to use double morsels on that floor. So that means Wyldenten will grow much easier. That's definitely worth. Don't want to play root seeds? Yeah, I want the extra draw next turn. Maybe? Just realized I cost reduced 2 healing spells despite me having an Edge Prior in the deck. But I just can't see myself fitting the Edge Prior on the Wyldenten floor very often, so that's why I did it. Yeah, I want the extra draw. Just blocking this damage. Nice. I should have Antumbra assaulted first. Whoops. That was too hasty. And this morsel is too strong for the Antumbra assault. Whoops. Misplayed that, but we should still be fine. Our Wyldenten is pretty strong right now. Almost strong enough. These morsels sadly don't matter because of the boss's sweep. So we take 6. I'm okay with taking 6. But we could have avoided that if we played the Antumbra Assault. Most likely. Razor Sharp Edge. Yeah. I need some damage scaling. Space Prism. Always amazing to see. And then what do we use for frontline? Thorn Hollow, Crucible Warden, Crucible Collector, probably Collector over Warden, especially against Seraph the Diligent, where the damage numbers aren't crazy high, so the lifesteal can just very easily counter a whole turn of damage. Yeah, like the idea of lifesteal plus root. That's a bit dangerous, I guess. So we need some extra health on that unit. Oh. That means we might have to make 2 different floors though. That's okay. That's totally okay with this setup. I kinda want multi-strike on that Crucible Collector just for damage, but that's not really necessary. We don't need the damage coming from the Crucible Collector. We have Wyldenten to deal with front lines. So just stats? Just stats, right? Higher starting stats are important. Anyone want a Heartstone? Maybe the Edge Prior? No. Ooh. I am not confident that we can beat Daedalus without our Crucible Collector, otherwise that's what I would remove here. And potentially get it super upgraded, but I fear we might die if we do that. So instead, we also need the Antumbra Assault. Razor Sharp Edge is a possibility. We might not need that. And the upgrades could be nice on it. Oh. It's starting to get warm in here. Daedalus. With damage shield. Right. Yep, this fight should be pretty doable as long as we make sure to keep our Wyldenten healthy and our collector fed. That Shula I think is better spent on Wyldenten. Love the Entumbra Assault. I think it goes here. Don't need the damage shields on that unit, so I'm happy to move them onwards to Wyldenten. Give him some damage shields. This will do. Wyldenten doesn't have much work in this fight, but that's about what I expected. I'm gonna drop a train steward on the top floor. The Mothers will go on the Crucible Collector floor anyways. The extra damage might help. Not much we can do on this floor right now. It's just buff Wyldenten. Space Prism. How high is the chance that we generate more than 2 morsels in a single turn? It could happen. It has happened already. But yeah, like this. It's very nice. Now we are getting ready to fight Daedalus, so my focus is on the Crucible Collector now. And we should win here. Yeah, even one of these will be enough. Crucible Collector is a good boss killer. Shroud Spike, Furnace Tap, Wildwood Tome. This is a wild selection of cards. I would take all 3 if I could. Easily. Put the Wildwood Tome on Wyldenten for a quick sweeper. Shroud Spike just to buff up the Crucible Collector like crazy. And I mean, Furnace Tap is just Furnace Tap. Considering how our strategy currently looks, I'm tending Shroud Spike here. Yeah. Oh. Animals of Speed. I wouldn't mind having that one on Wyldenten's floor. Wouldn't mind that at all. Now the question is, do I take Capacity here? Or do I take Draw? I really want Draw, to be honest. We have a Space Prism already, yeah. We want Draw. Capacity maybe later. When we have more morsel generation. This is pretty easy. Dupe and... not dupe. Removal and artifact. Oh, Wing Technology is good, but Guild Marker... We're not facing Sweep in the Seraph fight. Are we facing Sweep in the Arcus fight? I am not sure. I don't know the Arcus fights well enough. Which one has the Sweep, and which one doesn't. Actually, I do know that the Incant... Yeah, that's the Incant Harvest one. That one doesn't have sweep. That one I know for sure. So it might be okay without wing technology. Let's go guild marker then. I think we don't want more Gorgers. We have trouble feeding the Crucible Collector as is. Edge Prior. Do I really want to keep you in my deck? No. But you're... No, you are really better than a Trained Steward. I'm gonna cut the Edge Prior as well as a Trained Steward here. Because my base spells are pretty solid. Am I interested in Thorn Lord now? Somewhat? I probably want the stats on Strangler though. But Thorn Lord easily gets more attack than Strangler. Slightly lower health though. No, let's stay on the Strangler path. Mostly for the final upgrade. Not because it's better right now, but because it will be better once we get the final upgrade down. Spell Shield is a little bit of a problem because of our Antabra Assault not being as effective. But these enemies are just in general not a huge deal. Although we have to fight some of them on the top floor, which can cause a slight issue. Definitely Shade Splitter and Perils the morsel, so we can play all of these root seeds. I kinda wanna get the Animus of Speed to 35 attack. That would be pretty useful. Yep, I think that's my first priority here with these root seeds. Ooh. We have a rubble morsel. Well, that's a lot of lifesteal still. And we get all the ammo back we spent on it. So... sure. That's still quite good. This doesn't matter. No matter where I play it. Because of the damage shields, it's not gonna do much. Well, I guess I can take down another spell shield here. Not like that matters a whole lot. And I think it's feeding time now. Did they reduce the chance to gain Ember Morsels? Because I don't see them as often anymore. That's fine. Very nice, in fact. This next turn will be quite scary for Wyldenten. These guys will trigger their resolve again, so we have to face 11 plus 16, 27 damage. That's still survivable though. And we don't even need to survive that damage because boss is dead. What am I doing? Just overkilling for the fun of it. Crucible Collector doing what they do best. Collecting bosses. Ooh, Unleash the Wildwood. Now that's a lot of healing in a one card. Restoring Retreat. That's also quite tempting. If we want to overstack the Wyldenten floor, which we probably don't. Preserve Thorns is a nice bit of extra draw and some small damage spells. I think I like the Unleash the Wildwood. Not for right now, but for a bit later in this run. After Arcus. Or we have to deal with, well, where our Wyldenten will have huge health totals and the fights will go on longer, such a full heal can be important. I don't mind a excavation eruption at all. But we don't really need it, so I think I'll say skip here. What is the upgrade on our razor sharp edge? Reserve restore 2 health to your pyre. Do we need it now? Are we gonna upgrade it? I think so. Yes. That means we want it back now, because we want to cost reduce it perhaps. Very likely even. So basically we wasted an upgrade slot on that, but it could have been quite good. Any of the other two would have been great. Is there anything we want to consume remove? Shroud spike? That seems very unnecessary. Is it though? Not really into the Search Stone here. Actually, on Restoration Detonation, it's not bad. It's not a card we want to play multiple times anyways. But yeah, no consume removal. I do want to cost reduce the Razor Sharp Edge, I think. That's actually quite good. And then... It's still tempting to put it on the Shroud Spike. I'm aware that it's probably not necessary at all, and we're most likely better off putting 2 cost reductions onto it. But we only have 1 more Merchant of Magic, so we will only have 3 more cost reductions in total. And consume removal cost reduction isn't bad. Certainly not bad. I still don't want it. Ooh, nice. Permafrost cost reduction on the Shroud Spike could be good. But Permafrost on the Unleash the Wildwood is just so juicy. Have the full heal whenever you need it. It's just so much safety. Nope, not the Entumbra Assault, it's the Shroud Spike that gets this cost reduction. And let's look at the Concealed Caverns next. Shards of the Pyre. Do we want Bone Shine or Bone Rattler? We're not leaking things, is the thing. We don't have Pyre healing except for the Razor Sharp Edge, which we are almost always gonna just play out, so we don't really get the Pyre healing from that. So Bone Shine could have a point here. But I also feel like our deck is very resilient to not taking Pyre damage. Just because of how Wyldenten works. So I feel like that would just be a wasted card in the deck. And because we are going into a Merchant of Trinkets next, I want to keep my gold. Merchant of Trinkets with a guild marker and over 400 gold. That seems juicy. Mark of Innovation should be not a big deal at all here. We might take 6. Or we might also not. I guess we'll take 6. This guy has Sweep. Which means this morsel will die if we play it on the bottom floor. So let's not do that. That's probably the best we can do with that Train Steward. Nice. I was hoping the Collector would spawn on the top floor. This guy having Sweep actually makes the Animus of Speed much harder to use. There's a lot of potential targets for the Entumbra Assault. Yeah, Animus of Speed is gonna be hard to use, no matter what I do here. I might as well set her up and If I draw the Consuming Glimmer, I can kill this guy before he attacks. These are decent morsels. But we're gonna play one Shade Splitter anyways. Yep, I want the offensive ones. The health is not gonna be the problem here. This morsel even survives the Master of Light hit. $38. We can actually get to 38 if we don't do morsel stuff this turn. That might be worth. There we go. And we can still do basic morsel stuff, I guess. Although Master of Light on this floor, it's not worth playing the Shroud Spike for just X equals 1. That's actually decent. Oops. Yeah, that heals that one full, right? That's a thing. Do want to get these train stewards off the train relatively soon if possible. Can we stop this guy? We can deal 10 to them. Seems unlikely, to be honest. Although Restoration Detonation is a way we could achieve that if we draw it next turn. So I guess I'm gonna hold out for that. We draw 5 cards from our new deck, so yeah, no. We can't get that to work this turn. Might as well use it here to get some more lifesteal because that matters. And we also want you to have giant attack because you don't have that much lifesteal right now. Keep this in hand for a later turn on Wyldenten. Yeah. We don't have enough lifesteal to simply survive that. Let's remove you. Luckily we can use some morsels as well. So we should be able to get that boss down. Because his multi-strike doesn't matter, every lifesteal is a full extra hit. There we go. Restoring Retreat, Preserve Thorns, Wildwood Custodian. I'll pick up a Wildwood Custodian, that goes on the top floor. After we capacity increase it. Engine upgrade. Yeah, that's not bad at all. This deck currently doesn't need Feast. We could make some adjustment, the Feast is suddenly pretty good. Merchant of Trinkets could give us the necessary tools for that. Engine upgrade on the other hand mostly makes our Shroud Spike bigger and allows us to play more Root Seeds on a turn. That's not terrible, it's actually decent. I'm just not a big fan of Feast. It's so situational. Every card you have Feast, every hand you have Feast in has one less card that could generate morsels. So it's harder to actually make Feast matter. Pilestone Housing. Are we gonna go to a Merchant of Steel? I don't know. We're probably not gonna go to a second Merchant of Trinkets right after this one. So very likely yes. Hell's Banners is also a good card. Well, Hell's Banners is a relic, not a card, but That's just so much extra energy for my Shroud Spike. Do I want Firestone Housing at all? I kind of want Draw or Morsel Generation. Okay, that one counts as Morsel Generation, even though it doesn't actually generate morsels. It just increases their effects. And that's good enough for me. That means... what does that mean? Not much, honestly. We keep cutting Train Stewards at this point. And on we go. We are most likely still gonna be able to afford a relic at the Merchant of Trinkets. And we don't really benefit from the Merchant of Steel at all, so it looks like we're still going in that direction. I hate this Looming Dark Shard at the moment. And I can't really use the perils. I'm just gonna increase the cost on the perils and not really care about it. Shattering Dark Shard. We can easily put the Wildwood Custodian on the top floor because theoretically nothing should get past my Wyldenten. And even if something does, we have a Train Steward protecting that one. The extra damage definitely go on Wyldenten. The sweep is gonna be important because we will stack up a couple of enemies on that floor. Happy to see the Unleash. Looks like we're only gonna be playing one unit this turn. But Ember is still not a problem. Oh, oops. There's a sweeper. Missed that one. We need the increased sweep damage. You know, we do give this guy armor. Ideally, I want to have that guy at 59. He's currently at 58. So if I don't play any more Root Seeds here, the Animals of Speed will finish that one off before he attacks again. The Animals of Speed will also die to the Master of Light. That's a shame. That's not quite enough to get the kill. I guess if we want to play that, then we have to play it on this Train Steward. Attack Morsel is great. I am okay with not playing anything else this turn. Although, I should probably play the engine upgrade. That one makes quite a difference in later turns. Definitely the attack one. And it also means the Crucible Collector is now big enough to deal with Clip Guardians. We also automatically win the boss fight, so it doesn't even matter if we can kill the enemies on this floor, as long as we can keep them there until the boss comes out. That was a bit too hasty. I totally missed the sweeper as well as the Dark Shard, but at this point that doesn't matter because we're just strong enough. We're just gonna win. Honestly, I shouldn't play this. We don't need it, and it gives us pyre healing. If we don't. Not like the pyre healing is likely to matter, but it could. There's a small chance it does. Just playing out some morsels. And 48 lifesteal, yeah, have fun with that. Cycle of Life, Furnace Tap and Sharp Channeler. I don't hate Cycle of Life. It seems a bit unnecessary at the moment. It's expensive, but with the health banners we rarely have problem with Ember. It's decent, good enough. I wanted to take capacity here, but why? Seems unnecessary. Let's go draw. We have all that energy, we need cards to spend it on. Let's also get free removals and paid relics. Teeth of Gold, Mask of Penumbra, yeah. That one I like. There's one relic I would really love here. What's the name again? Shade Lamp? Yeah, Shade Lamp. That would be amazing. But Mask of Penumbra will do. We can't afford another one here, so no reason to reroll. What are the cuts now? With the extra draw we have, we don't benefit as much from the root seeds. So I'm gonna cut one of those and the Train Steward. Because once we have the Wildwood Custodian out, we already draw 8 cards a turn. So only the first 2 root seeds will actually matter for the cards drawn. Ah, sweep quick, that's so tempting. But also so unnecessary. The extra health is probably better, honestly. Just because we have the large heals. That's very often gonna be just fine. Darkwings with 20 armor, they would be pretty nasty. But we do have great defense, so I am hopeful we can deal with this. Second floor, Wyldenten Animus. These guys are in front, so the Animus will remove one of them. Which is actually very important, because these have 70 damage in total. That would just straight up kill my Wyldenten. I can't have that happen. Luckily we do have the quick Animus here. Might as well start working on them. $70 is pretty much a break point for us, because also our Crucible Collector has 70 health. This fight is quite scary. This Glimmer is just not enough to kill that Shade Wings. I could kill the Shade Wings here, saves me a lot of health on Wyldenten this turn. And I think that's what I have to do. These morsels are a bit unexciting. I shouldn't have played them all. I forgot. Although we don't have a good Entumbra Soul target, well, still would have been better than a Shade Splitter. I might need to play the heal for the Crucible Collector. I'm not even sure where the Razor Sharp Edge should go. Probably on Wyldenten. Reducing the max health can be a bother. But we do have that one card in the deck that solves that problem. Cycle of Life. And this is actually great. Wyldenten doesn't die this turn. That's good. And you are now... Ooh, you are now super ready. Kinda wanna get the Cycle of Life off. I don't want Wyldenten to get bursted down. That would be tragic. We don't need the engine upgrade life. I want the extra health and lifesteal on the Crucible Collector, so we can just let that one go and don't need to worry about the Crucible Collector staying alive or anything. It will just do that by default. Yeah, the damage is racking up on this top floor. We definitely play the Unleash. We don't have to. The Glimmer will suffice. No, the Glimmer. Glimmer plus Cycle of Life is enough. Then we can keep the Unleash for a later turn. And just play it shortly before we draw into our next draw pile. That would be decent. The faster we can get rid of these stacked up Gilded Wings, the better. And keeping Wyldenten on relatively low life can be beneficial if we... No, we already played our Restoration Detonation, right? This is definitely the Unleash turn though. Yeah. Wyldenten is still about to die. Okay, that's concerning. Should have done that before playing the cycle, but at least it's enough. Now the faster we draw into the cycle again, the much better off we are. So that's definitely one of my goals here. This fight is a true end boss. Shadewings with armor, they are truly terrifying. $66 plus 25 is 80, 91, 93. Yeah, whatever this guy's life is, we have enough to kill him now with the quick attack. Another Unleash. Very glad to have it. But let's kill this guy first. So we can also heal the 5 damage. That one just did. Let's see what Shade Splitter does. Nothing of importance. Then we just Cycle of Life and Root Seeds you, because you will be our boss killer next turn. Oh, we managed. That was a tight one. Wait. Why are you dying before you lifesteal? 26? Oh, there's more damage incoming than you have attack. Let's change that. Had me scared for a moment there, Neffel. That was somewhat concerning. That you would be able to kill my almost 50 lifesteal guy. Awake and snare restoring retreat. Nope. None of these make sense in our deck. Umbra Stone. That's actually somewhat tempting to put on a Wyldenten. But this is another Shroud Spike. Umbra Stone on Sweep Wyldenten is pretty good. Upgrades, what do we want? Is there anything? It's just Shroud Spikes, right? Just cost reducing those. Let's see what's in store here. Spells get an extra upgrade slot. That's hardly gonna be useful though. Yeah, if that would double the life, I would gladly do it, but that's not how that works. Question is, do we want the Lightstone casing? I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think we want the Lightstone casing. That's the only relic out of these we're interested in. Oh! Hello! Draw. That's a lot of draw. Lightstone casing was a very expensive cost reduction on this one Shroud Spike instead of the other one. Which matters because... Will dupe it? I'm not even gonna dupe it, right? No, I will. There is very little incoming damage in the upcoming fight, and Unleash the Wildwood will be enough. I was thinking of duping the Unleash, but that's just not necessary. Shroud Spike just gives us more raw power. And we don't need the Consume upgrade, the Search Stone. We could instead buy a removal. But there is really nothing I want to remove right now. I guess I can get one more Root Seeds out of the deck. The Shade Splitters are sadly still quite important. Because we only have the one Entumbra Salt to make morsels. Beside the Shade Splitters. The one issue we have in this fight is these Purifiers. And the bottom floor being capacity reduced is also not nice. But we have the necessary energy to deal with such a thing, right? If we get enough spikes on that guy, then the Purifiers will start dying. That will take a while, but eventually we might get there. Right now I feel like we should be buffing up the Crucible Collector. I don't think Wyldenten is in any danger of dying. So that's just a better plan at the moment. And we also don't need the Animus. I'd much rather have the Wildwood Custodian than the Animus. We need to be careful with the Shade Splitters. We can't get too many of those burned out. Nice, nice. We draw on our third spell, we draw on our first heal, we draw on our first morsel. So much draw with this deck. And we already have 2 draw boss relics, and we have the root seeds. This is truly power. Do I even need 20? No, 42 lifesteal right now? Probably not. Should play the self-mutilation. I am taking the damage to these vengeful shots, no problem there. How much attack is this? It's just 24, that's not even that much. Yeah, let's get the backliner to get more attack. Keeping the Unleash the Wildwood because we don't have any Ember this turn anyway, so I don't need the draw from Septap right now. From this point on, we are getting the draw from Septap just when the Crucible Collector attacks, so that's nice. These guys will die to spikes, that's also quite nice. We need a Glimmer on the bottom floor to reduce the amount of self-mutilations we have to deal with. Very nice. Top floor Glimmer, just to reduce the incoming damage against Wyldenten. Shroud Spike, a lifesteal morsel for Wyldenten. That wouldn't be a bad idea if we... But we are so well prepared to keep Wyldenten alive that it's just not necessary. Just wanted something that's not a problem to consume. Okay, you know what? No, I could do it on Wyldenten, but I want the big numbers of lifesteal. We have 128 lifesteal now. How can we ever die? We have a lot of Ember cost in that hand. We don't need to play all these morsels. We don't need to take any more damage either. This fight is over. What do we start with here? Probably root seeds. It really doesn't matter all that much what we do at this point. Nine spikes? We're so close to getting to the 10 we need to kill these Scorch enemies. It's time to burn a Shade Splitter. It's fine. Whoops. Messed that one up. But it doesn't really matter. Anyways. And next turn we heal up. Well, Seraph just entered the train. And we have 141 free turns of... Well, it's gonna be a bit more than that. So, how many free turns of combat do we get through all this lifesteal? We get 146 turns of free combat with 211 damage each. A bit more than that because we gain another 152 turns of 250 damage each before Seraph can even hope of reducing our health. I think you have had enough, Mr. Crucible Collector. I'm going to cut you off. He killed Seraph for us. He can eat however many mortals he wants. Yeah, that was an interesting deck. I don't think... Oh, we have a new record for max healing done. I guess healing was a big part of this deck. Especially if you count the lifesteal healing as well. That was over 38,000 damage for Seraph. Well, that sounds pretty impressive. But honestly, I had runs where well, that was the amount of damage I did each turn. So... yeah, solid deck. Very solid deck. Wyldenten with the Strangler path is really good in making sure your other units only need to care about the boss. And Crucible Collector is just a monster boss killer. The only boss this one struggles with is the stealth one, the Crystal Cloak. Sometimes the Crucible Collector doesn't get to attack before this Crystal Cloak kills the Collector, so yeah. But we didn't face them this run, so lucky. And also I think we would have been just fine against the Crystal Cloak anyways.